Welcome back to our training on the Corporate Transparency Act. I want to do a quick video here on how to file your BOIR report, but using the PDF system. Again, this is going to be very helpful if you don't have everybody's information yet, but you're collecting it slowly. Or if you have multiple entities that need to be reported, but the beneficial owners are pretty much identical. I use this as a trick to save me some time, where I just, I plug in a lot of the information, and then I save as with the new entity information. That way I don't have to keep doing it over and over and over again. And it's just a trick that I personally use myself. So to do this, to get the PDF, you have to go to the FinCEN website that I shared with you guys earlier. And what we're going to do is we're going to click here to prepare BOIR, which is then going to download it to your computer. I'm on a Mac computer, so I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and I'm going to open this up. Bear with me 1 minute while I get that opened. Okay. Alright, so here is the PDF that gets downloaded. You'll see up at the very top section here are instructions. You will use these buttons after you get done with everything. So after you fill out this report, you use the validate button to make sure everything's formatted correctly and that all the required fields are inside there. Once that comes back clean, you'll then click finalize, which is going to lock down your report. You'll then save the final report, and then you'll click this ready to file will turn green, and then you'll be able to click that button, which will then take you to the FinCEN website where you just upload it, and you'll get a transcript just the same way that if you did it through the online reporting system. So let's go through what this reporting website what this PDF looks like. Again, type of report, you have several options. Initial report's going to be if this is your first time filing a FinCEN report. Corrective prior report, maybe you made a mistake in the previous one, maybe you had an address wrong, or maybe you forgot to include a beneficial owner, because now you know it includes not just people who own, but people who manage as well. This is where you're going to correct that. Update a prior report, or if an entity eventually turns exempt because it may be now it's a large operating company. If any of these situations happen, what you're going to do, let's do an initial report, which is what most people are going to end up doing. You'll then scroll down. Same thing with the online website. I highly, I really wish this was a default mechanism, but I recommend you always select box 3, request to receive your FinCEN ID. What this is going to do is after you upload it, they're going to give you a FinCEN ID number that is associated with your company. You're going to want that. Again, your company's going to change over time. All companies are living organisms. And as things change, you want to make sure you have that FinCEN ID number so you can make those appropriate updates over time. Next, you're going to plug in the legal name of the company. So we'll call this Test LLC. I'm not sure what is going on with my computer. Okay, well, apparently I'm having some technical issues, and I apologize, but I think it's because I have so many systems up right now. But this is where you're going to plug in the legal name of your company. So let's say it's Test LLC or Test Incorporated. You're going to make sure you have those identifiers, the LLC, the Inc., the Corp., whatever it is, inside there. Alternative names are going to be DBAs or trade names. Good example, Avid Esquire Group. We have DBAs. Sometimes we operate and our marketing material will say Avid Estates or Avid Claims or Avid Business. Those are areas where you'll plug in those DBAs. Tax identification type. EIN is what most companies have. If you have your own EIN number, this is where you're going to plug it in. However, if you are a sole proprietor or you operate as a disregarded entity, it might be your Social Security number that you use, in which case you'll plug in your Social Security number here. Next will be the country or jurisdiction of formation. What country was it formed? And if it's a United States company, it's going to ask you, what state did you form it in? right? I might have the company might have been formed in Alabama, but I operate in Arizona. I'm going to be reporting this as Alabama. If you're foreign reporting, this is where you'll plug in the state of first registration, things along those lines. Current U.S. address. Where does this business operate out of? A physical address. Make sure you plug in the street address, suite address, city, state, zip, and city and state and zip code here. Next, we're going to go into company applicants. These are the people who formed your company. These are individuals that get reported. Really important for Section 16. If your company was formed before January 1, 2024, select box 16, everything gets grayed out. You are exempt from reporting the company applicants. But if your company was formed on or after January 1, 2024, you're going to have to plug in all their information here. Now, who gets reported? Remember, this is the person who created it, as well as the person who directed it to be created, as well as the person who actually filed their reporting. So in many instances, as a law firm, I form a lot of companies. I'm going to plug in, I'm not going to give all my clients my passport. I'm sorry, that's just really terrible idea to do. I have a FinCEN ID number. This is where I would plug in that information. So I'm the person, let's say hypothetically, I did all this. And I believe there's 4 digits here. This is fake, so don't use this number. I'm doing this as a hypothetical. Oh, you can't use the dashes. See, even I'm learning stuff. Once you plug in that number, it's going to then put the proper hyphenations in there, and it's going to block out all this information because it's no longer required. FinCEN has my information associated with my FinCEN ID. If you're dealing with someone who does not have a FinCEN ID, however, you will need to plug in that person's legal last name, their legal first name, middle name, their date of birth, their address. Where can we find that person? Where can the government get in touch with that person? You can use it as a business address or residential address, doesn't matter. Just make sure you delineate which type it is. Here's where you're going to choose the identifying document. Do they give you a driver's license? Do they give you a state, local, or tribe issued ID? A U.S. passport or a foreign passport? You'll plug in the ID number, who issued it, what country issued it, and then what state issued it. And then the identifying document image, this is where you're going to actually attach the photo of that ID. You'll click Add Attachment, and you'll find the file on your computer and you'll attach it there. Now, if you have more than one company applicant, you'll go up to the top here and you're going to click plus. And you're going to keep doing this same process for every beneficial owner. Remember, there could be multiple owners. It's anyone that has ownership of 25% or more of the company, and anyone that has substantial control over the company. So that if you're an LLC, it could be managers, it could be members. If you're a corporation, it can include your C-suite. It can include your board of directors. You need to watch the video on beneficial owners. It is very important you have a very clear understanding of this, because this is the area where most people are going to make mistakes. And ignorance of law is no excuse. If you don't do this report, you can expect penalties to come out of it. So make sure you do this correctly, please. So you'll plug in all that information. To get through this whole thing, I'm just going to mark this up. Also, additionally, you have box 35 here. If you're dealing with potentially a minor who has ownership interest, or if you're dealing with an elderly citizen that no longer is in control over their estate because of incapacity, you'll be plugging in the guardian or the court-appointed conservator. You'll select here, and then you'll be plugging in the parent or the guardian's information here instead. I'm going to plug in just a fake ID number here just so I can show you what this looks like. So now I have all of my company applicants. Maybe there's 2 company applicants, there's only 1, whatever that situation is. We're going to plug in all the company applicant information here. Again, all fake information just to get us through this. Alright, I really wish, there we go. Mickey Mouse LLC. Now let's do an EIN number. It knows that there's up to 9 digits. So let me do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Address 1, 2, 3 Main. This is United States. I'm going to call it Alabama. Again, this is all just fake information. Just so I can show you how this works. Alright, so now we have all of our information in there. We have all of our beneficial owners, all of our company applicants. What we want to do next is we're going to scroll up, we're going to click on Validate. It looked through, said everything that's required is in there, there's no formatting issues, we're good. Next we're going to click on Finalize, which now it locks this wet thing down. There can be no more changes done to this once you click Finalize. If you did find a mistake, you can click Edit. It's going to unlock it. But before you submit, you do need to click Finalize to submit it. I then recommend you save this to your computer, which you are required to do so. Okay, let's see if this will work now. Go figure. Okay, well, I'm running into errors, and the error is because when I cleaned out my downloads folder, I accidentally deleted the original folder here. Usually, I've done this numerous times, and I've not ran into this issue. But of course, for a training video, I had to hide client confidential information, which caused this issue. So all you do, though, is you save it to your computer here. Once it's saved, this button is going to become illuminated. You then can click Ready to File, in which case it's going to take you to this report right here. And then you'll plug in your information, your first name, your last name. You're going to attach the PDF that was saved to your computer here. Now, very important, as a lawyer, I can't stress this enough, you will need to click I agree. Now, when you click I agree, you are certifying on behalf of the reporting company under penalty of perjury that the information you are submitting is true and accurate and complete. So this is very serious, guys. Make sure your information you're plugging in there is correct, because you can be penalized for this. It's a very substantial thing, and it's a big reason why a lot of lawyers are refusing to file these on behalf of other companies without getting a ton of affidavits in place, because whoever files this report could incur potential liability. So make sure that the information you're uploading is correct and complete, please. You'll click I agree, you're going to verify you're a human, you're going to submit your BOI report, and after that is done, it's going to take you to another page where you can download a transcript. I highly encourage you to download that transcript for a couple reasons. One, it's proof that you submitted your report, but two is you're going to get a FinCEN ID number as long as you selected box 3 on that report. Save that FinCEN ID number. Make sure you save that transcript where you save all your company's important information. So wherever you have your bylaws, your operating agreement, your articles of organizations or incorporation, your EIN number, this report should be saved in those same areas, because you will need your FinCEN ID at a later point in time. All companies go through changes, and when those changes happen, you'll need to do an updated report. So make sure you save that report somewhere where you can easily access it later. And so that's how you file your report online. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Additionally, if this is just seem too over the top for you, you want to make sure it's done correctly, my law firm is happy to do these reports for you. And I believe I'm going to structure this so that there will be a link after this video where you can sign up to engage my law firm to do this report for you instead. We're always happy to help.